This strengthens your brand credibility and integrity, increases your positive image, creates greater stickiness for consumers, as they are less likely to leave a brand they find trustworthy. And it'll definitely help cut through the clutter of sincerity all around us. This is a call for sincerity in our marketing strategies and marketing DNA. I guess the next step for all of us would be to reflect on our marketing programs, our marketing teams, and culture, and see where we can be more sincere in producing for our customers and serving for our consumers.
We live in a transactional world, and this is not about transactions. This is about relations. And we have to be very, very sincere, very, very humble, and don't over-expect that technology will solve this easily. And that I say as a technology person. Have realistic ambitions when you address your biggest challenge in a transactional world to get a relation with your customers.
Well, this is what we call an interest graph, okay? An interest graph puts people into different buckets to make it easier for a marketer to plan. But we acknowledge that one person may actually have multiple interests. This is why we allow you to zoom in into individuals. We know who they are, what they've bought, what they've recently expressed interest in, and we expose this in real time. This is how we facilitate what we call hyper-personalization, okay? So the knowledge and understanding of the customer, when you make it available to the platform, allows you to take that step forward so that you can serve them better. And this is how we orchestrate all of these experiences.
So let's start this session off with social media. So since this is social media, we are here as panels to give you our point of view, but we also want to hear from you, because we are here on a rare occasion to actually know different practices or benchmark practices from different industries.
I'll start off with what makes video a more effective format. I think the main reason why video is more effective because it tells a better story than any other format. It's more engaging, it's more compelling. The human brain is supposed to be programmed to retain combined visual and auditory components together and process that, even if there's a lot more information that is transferred to the viewer of a video.
Speaking of e-commerce and digital marketing, basically in Microsoft Philippines, it's more of a B2B for me. Like the marketing that we do is more of enterprise marketing. So we don't do much on e-commerce or digital marketing. When it comes to digital marketing, it's more of awareness or brand building for us, more than lead generation.
Definitely the Intrigue Manila experience is a blast. I learned a lot from our panelists. I love how the marketing funnel and the cycles have been threaded from big data to personalization up to lead generation. So I'm really looking forward to more events with you and Salesgasm. So I'll tell my family and friends about it. I think that's what makes Intrigue Manila unique, because of its intimacy, and people are not very intimidated about the space, about hesitancy about asking questions. So I think that the core advantage of Intrigue Manila is to really engage and solicit comments and insights from the audiences as well.
The experience was really pleasant. Like I've attended a lot of events, but rarely do I see like a series of panels, and it's all just, you know, dialogue between the attendees as well as the panelists and moderators. So it was very engaging. I learned a lot, and I think the key takeaway is that all the marketers currently are still in the journey of figuring things out. So there's a lot of ideas, insights coming from various industries on the way we do things. Yeah, I love it. It's actually my objective in most of the events that we run locally as well. So making sure that it's as intimate as possible so that you get their insights, because ultimately there's no point in just communicating one way, right? You really need to hear the comments of the audiences so that you become relatable and you tweak the messaging to cater mostly for them.
I think it's very good. For the first time it's happening in Manila, I think it's a very intimate session. I think that the number of delegates actually allows us to be a lot more interactive with each other. I like the format in that it's not just the speakers, it's not just the panel members who can actually share their experience, compared to probably bigger marketing events wherein big name companies would actually be telling you a lot about their products actually behind concepts. This is a lot different because it's very interactive, and a lot of the delegates are actually field practitioners, not from just big name brands. So I think that is very effective and very intimate. From a perspective of being able to go down to the field practitioners and being able to share experiences and exchange ideas, whether they're new or they're time proven, that is something that I definitely highlight to other colleagues who might be interested in looking, maybe even comparing it to the likes of it's actually a big event. I would think this is effective in that there's a lot more exchange that's happening, and real-world experiences and returns in how these companies and these people have actually dealt with the problems facing their organizations.
I think what happens is the Intrigue Summit in Manila offered a fresh perspective, because in most situations, we speak to a crowd that has already been there and done it. But over here, we were able to see how different brands were to perceive it, assuming that they've not embarked on this journey before. Okay, and sometimes that humbles us, because it makes us acknowledge that sometimes we need to slow down and make sure that our crowd is also aware of the values that we are trying to communicate, but more importantly, how this influences their businesses. And when we are able to match this, we will definitely have a recipe for success. I think the interactivity between the speakers and the delegates is definitely something that we've always looked forward to whenever we attend an Intrigue Summit. In most other situations, the workshops deliver a one-way narrative. Someone is just sharing and then the audience is just listening. But I think what sets Intrigue Summit very distinctly apart is the fact that the crowd is welcome to participate, share their anecdotes, and more importantly also offer a counter viewpoint towards what was being shared. And this, I think, was valuable because it gives a nuanced perspective towards options that are available in the market and how it can be adopted for different people for the use cases that they want to address.
I really enjoyed the experience. I came here to be a speaker and a panelist to share some insights and learnings from my experience, but I actually was part of the audience a lot also because I learned a lot from people. And I think the beauty and what was intriguing in this Intrigue Summit is that you came around and pulled in a lot of people from different diverse backgrounds. And I really appreciated that because we can all learn something new. I think that was really important. I think we're talking digital here, and that's all about, digital is all about engagement, right? It's always a dialogue, and I think you allowed for both panel and audience to have that important dialogue and also to learn from each other. And I think it was a reflection of good engagement, right? Because if everyone was just sleepy and all, then you wouldn't really have come up with a lot of questions. So at least for my session, I was very happy. A lot of people were asking very insightful questions, even throwing tough questions. But I was very happy to impart the knowledge that I have so far.
Experience here, it's been great. Just hearing the different insights from different people, from different backgrounds, from different professions. It's interesting because there's some that you verify, and there are others that you, hey, I didn't think of that, or yeah, she emphasized that, and that wasn't important to me, and now I'm going to rethink that. It's been great. It's one learning experience. So Intrigue was awesome.